Hello students, this side Pooja Sharma, your physics teacher from Cambridge International School, Dasua. Children, I hope you all are fine and healthy and your families too. And I hope that you are giving your enough time to your studies and you are studying hard. One more thing, children, your online quiz is approaching. So please work hard for it and do well. You get a lot out of it. You will understand the main concepts and what you have to do further for your improvement. So work for that. Now we are going to move on to the topic for today, but before that we are going to revise what we have already done. So let's get started with today's session. The chapter which we are doing is related to forces and motion. Fine. So the name of the chapter, obviously, it is forces and motion. What we have already learnt is we did two things. One is balanced and unbalanced forces, and then we have done what are the resultant forces. So balanced forces, when you have the forces which are equal in magnitude, fine, and they give the net resultant as 0, means there is no result coming out of it. Yes, there is a little bit result which we can have based upon the shape, otherwise there will be no result because the forces are balanced. Fine. Then we have the unbalanced forces. In unbalanced forces, we have done that all the forces which are acting on an object, the magnitude is not same, because of which it is unbalanced. Fine. The similar quantity, they will get cancelled out. What the rest over you have, the extra one you have, you will be having the result because of that. Fine. So when your resultant is going to be non-zero, means there is some value of it, we say the forces are obviously unbalanced, which give rise to the result. Okay. So the resultant force is the one which is a single force because of a number of forces acting onto an object. Fine. Because of all those force, what is the resultant? Your result you are getting, that is going to be a resultant force. And this is the main thing about this resultant forces, that this is the force which bring the change in the object. Fine. Because if you have balanced forces, they are going to be cancelled out. Whatever the extra you are going to have, that is going to bring the change. Fine. So that is what we say, it is your resultant force. Now let's revise by have this example. Suppose you have a force of magnitude 5, another force of magnitude 5, they are getting add on. So because their directions are same, so they will be obviously add on and the resultant will be 10. Fine. Then in the second B part, you can see that the forces are 5 5, but their magnitude is opposite. See, you can see in this figure, one is plus 5 and on one it is written minus 5. It means they are minus sign, means they are opposite. So when you have the same forces but their directions are opposite, the result is coming to be 0. Then third is you have 5 force, 5 Newton force, that is 5 is the magnitude of the force, and you have 10 force, fine, magnitude 10. They both are having same direction, so obviously it will get add on and you have 15 Newton. Then fourth part, 5 Newton plus minus 10. Now see, in minus 10 you have the opposition in the sign arrow. Fine. It means it will be cancelled out. So 5 5 will cancel and the rest over is 5. So you have 5 resultant. And because in the opposite direction the more force is applied, so the resultant will go in opposite direction only. Fine. Or you can say the direction in which more forces being applied. Fine. Then the next one is a force of 5 Newton is applied plus a force of minus 15 in the opposite direction. So because it is opposite, so it's going to be cancelled out. So 5 get cancelled, we have 10 left. And it is not 10, it is minus 10 actually, because that minus means that it is applied in the opposite direction. Obviously the direction in which minus 15 is, the resultant will also be in that direction only. Fine. And in the last one you can see up and down arrows. 10 Newton is applied in upward direction, 5 Newton is applied in downward, so that is why they have written minus 5 to show the difference in the direction. So we get the resultant as plus 5. 10 Newton is in upward direction and that is the maximum one. So the resultant will go in the upward direction. Okay. So now let's start with today's topic. We are going to do mass, weight and gravity. Let's start with the topic mass first of all. So what is mass? It is the measure of the amount of the matter in an object. So first of all, understand what is matter. Matter is anything made up of molecules, anything which have some space, which occupy some space, fine, that's going to be matter. And the amount of the matter in an object, fine, how much matter is present in an object is going to tell you the mass. If you have something, any object, it means that object is having some mass, fine, only then it exists. Okay. Now we have some facts related to mass. First of all, how it is measured, that is its SI unit. SI unit of mass is kilogram, fine, that is kg. We can also measure mass in grams as well and in kilograms as well. But yes, standard, if you consider, it is kilogram, fine. So if somebody asks you about the standard unit, so you will say it's kilogram, fine. Then mass measure the quantity of matter. Obviously, I have discussed this earlier that whatever is the matter present in the objects is going to tell you that's mass. The mass measured the quantity of the matter regardless of both its location in the universe and the gravitational force applied onto it. What they mean to say here is that mass do not vary actually, fine. Whatever your mass is, that's going to remain the same, fine. It's the just the quantity of matter. Yeah, if the quantity will increase, decrease, the matter will increase, decrease, only then the mass will change. Otherwise it will be not changing with respect to the location or with respect to the gravitational force. For example, my mass is 80 kg, fine. Now, if I go from my place to somewhere, some other place, it doesn't means that my mass is going to change. Fine. So that is why they have written that regardless of the location, that it's not that you move from one place to another and your mass will vary. No, it will not. Yes, it will vary a little bit because of what the exercise you do, what the calories you burn, what the matter you shed off. Fine. But other than that, it's not going to be changed. Then it is that mass is also the quantity of matter regardless of the gravitational force applied onto it as well. Fine. It's not that depending upon the gravitational force it will change. Mass is not going to change because whatever is within you, that's not going to change. So mass not going to change. Because mass is what? That is the matter present. So if matter doesn't change, the mass will not change. So whatever the question will be, you just have to think about one particular term, that is there matter changing. Fine. Suppose I said that my mass is 80 kg, then I did exercise for 1 month, and now I shed off around 5 kgs of the matter. Then obviously my mass will reduce. But other than that, the mass will not reduce. Fine. Not increase, not decrease. Fine. If you talk about a particular time interval and you say that I change the location or the gravitation force change, that's not going to affect the mass. The next term which we are going to do today is weight. Fine. So let's understand what is weight. Weight is the measure of the pull of gravity on an object. So mass, we have done that it depends upon matter. It does not depend upon the pull of the object. Fine. Now suppose you have an object. How much force earth is applying onto that object? How much gravity is pulling that object towards itself? You know na that gravity, because of this only we are binded onto the earth's surface. Fine. So how much force the earth apply onto an object tells its weight. Fine. So if you are onto the ground level or you go at some mountain level, you know this that more you go away from the earth, the gravity will, the force will decrease. Okay. Obviously you have any kind of force, suppose magnetic force. Fine. Suppose if a nail is nearby the magnet, the attraction between magnet and nail will be very much high. Now the magnet is very far away from the nail. There the attraction can be, cannot be. Means it depends upon the distance. Now if you take the nail very far away from the magnet, very very far away, then obviously the nail will not be attracted. Obviously it has to be attracted, it's a magnetic material, but because the distance is very high, so the attraction decreases. Same is the case over here, that the weight depend upon the gravity pull. Fine. But if you go from a place to place, suppose your distance from earth's surface keep on increasing or decreasing, so according to that your weight will also vary. Why it will vary? Because weight is the gravity pull. If you are onto the surface or nearby the surface, the pull, the attraction will be more. If you go away from the surface, means you go at some height, there because you increase the distance, so the gravity, the force is going to be decreased, so your weight will be decreased. Fine. So weight is what? It is the pull of the gravity. Okay, now the weight may be calculated as the mass times the acceleration due to gravity. Fine. Means weight is what? What is your mass? Multiply by what is the acceleration due to gravity. When you product these two terms, you will get weight. You can say that mass and weight is having a little bit link, because mass multiplied by gravitational attraction, attraction due to gravity, is going to give you the weight. Now one question will definitely arise here, that what is this acceleration due to gravity? Fine. So don't worry, we are going to do that. The next thing is the unit of weight. I already told you weight is what? It is the force of earth onto an object. So what is the unit of force? It's Newton. Weight is also the force of earth, means it is a kind of force. So its unit is also going to be Newton. Now is the facts about weight. The first one is measured in Newton. I already cleared it. And the second is the changes from place to place. So I guess this is also understood, that if your distance from earth's surface keep on increasing or decreasing, so according to that place to place your weight will also keep on changing. So okay, one doubt will be still there in your mind, that ma'am has not discussed about acceleration due to gravity yet. So we are going to do that under this topic of gravity. Fine. So let's do this. Gravity is the force that attract a body towards the center of earth. Means it is a force, fine, which attract the object towards the earth's center. Fine. And we have some facts about gravity. The facts are, it is measured in Newton, obviously because it is a force, so it will be measured in newtons. then gravity keeps Earth and the other planets in the solar system in orbit around the sun. Now, children, this is very good to talk about that. You will be having this question that around the sun there are planets, they keep revolving around the sun. Fine. So, what is the reason behind? Fine. Why they are not able to move from, they have a particular orbit and they move in that orbit only. So, this is only because of this gravitational pull. Fine. So, gravity keeps the Earth and the other planets in the solar system in orbit around the Earth. Obviously, this is only because of which we are also onto the Earth. Fine. And then this formation of tides, this is also because of this. Fine. So the acceleration is what it is because of the change in velocity. Fine. And the acceleration which is gained by an object because of this gravitational force means if you have the acceleration due to this gravitational force, we called that acceleration as acceleration due to gravity. Fine. So, you know what is gravity? The force of the earth onto an object. Fine. To attract it towards the center. Fine. So, now if because of that force there is acceleration produced, there is a change in velocity going on, we say that acceleration as acceleration due to gravity. Okay. Then the acceleration of free fall. So first of all, understand what is this free fall. Free fall means suppose you have thrown an object in the upward direction. Suppose you have a ball, you have thrown it in upward direction, but after some time you will see the ball comes down. You are there to throw the ball up, means you apply force onto the ball. But can you tell me that who is there to throw the ball down? There is nothing other than the gravitational force. Fine. So, in that case, when the object comes from top towards the ground level, there is no force other than gravitational force acting on to that. Fine. So, it means other than gravitational force, there is the object is free from all the other forces and it is falling down. So, this situation we call it as free fall. You can again revise it that when an object fall freely, fall means coming down, freely means without the action of any force other than the gravitational force. Fine. In that case, we can say the object is in state of free fall and the acceleration during that, what we say it is acceleration due to free fall. Fine. So let's read it. So the acceleration of the free fall is when the body falls due to the Earth's gravitational pull. Fine. When due to the Earth's gravitational pull, the body falls. Its velocity changes. Obviously, when something is at the top, it's going to be there for a second and then it comes down. Means it's going to be at zero velocity. Then it comes down, its velocity again increases. Fine. So there is a change in velocity. So there is acceleration. In that case, I'm reading it again. When the body falls due to the gravitational pull, its velocity changes and is said to be accelerated because velocity is changed. So it is accelerated due to the Earth's gravity and it falls freely. This is called free fall. And in this case of free fall, the value of acceleration due to gravity is 9.8 meter per second square. Fine. Obviously, meter per second square is the unit of acceleration, and 9.8 is the value of acceleration due to gravity. Fine. And approximately or in a round figure, we consider it as 10 as well. So we can take the value of acceleration due to gravity as 10. Okay. So children, this is all for today. Fine. We have done, let's do the recap of what we have done through the upcoming slides. We have done the topic of mass, weight, and gravity. We do the gravity also, but first of all, let's do the difference between the mass and weight to have a recap of what we have done and to have a little bit more clarity about the topic. Fine. So, mass is the amount of matter in the body. What is the matter present? Okay. And weight is due to the pull of gravity onto the body. Fine. So mass is only the matter, amount of matter. There is no direction associated with it. So it has only magnitude. That is why it is a scalar quantity. Whereas weight has magnitude, value also. Plus, it is because of the gravitational force, which is always in downward direction. So there is a particular direction also. So that is why it is a vector quantity. Fine. The mass is measured in kilograms, the standard unit. The weight, because it is a force, so it is measured in newtons. Then constant regardless of the gravitational field strength. It means that the mass will not change, it will remain the constant. Fine. Whereas the weight varies according to the gravitational field strength. The weight is going to change. Fine. From place to place. Usually, the mass is measured by beam balance or the calibrated electronic balance, whereas the weight is measured by the spring balance or by the compression balance. So, these are the devices which we use to measure mass and weight. Children, I suggest that must note these points onto your notebook also for a ready reckoner, and so that whenever you want it, you can just have it. Have a look onto this and you can have the whole topic clear to you. Fine. The next, we are going to have an example to interlink all the things, the gravity, the mass, and the weight. Fine. So basically, when you are onto the earth, see, there is an you're an astronaut. Fine. So when you are on the earth surface, suppose your mass is 120 kg. Fine. And if you want to find out the weight, so weight is what? The product of mass and acceleration due to gravity. And you know that acceleration due to gravity is 9.8. And approximately we take it as 10. Fine. So if you multiply mass with 10, you get the weight. So if your mass is 120 kg on earth, your weight on earth will be 120 multiplied by 10, that is 1200 newton. Fine. Now you move on to the moon surface. So mass will never change. On earth mass is 120. On moon also the mass will be 120 because it is the matter and it will not change. Second is weight. On earth the weight is 1200. And children, remember this, that on moon the weight will be 1/6 the weight on the earth. Means whatever your weight is on the earth, because see, you are going far away from the earth's surface, so the distance will increase, the force will decrease, and from earth to moon that decrease will be 6 times. Fine. So if your weight on earth is 1200 newton, your weight on moon will be 1200 divided by 6, that is 200 newton. So I guess this is clear to you now. These examples are going to play a very important role to make the strong connection with between the concepts and to make a full clarity about what all we have done. Fine. So I hope you have learned through this. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, I be closing this session here. Fine. And we'll be meeting you soon. Till then, take care. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.